Of peace and welcome, everyone, and to my co-host Yogi Sanjivana, also known as Sanjeev. Welcome to our wonderful event. This is our open conversation that we host weekly, and the major theme that we discuss topics under is living consciously in 2025. And we've been co hosting these podcasts or events, open conversations, for some months now. And they've really been very, very thought provoking. And I found them actually quite exceptionally healing for myself through exploring different topics. However, the purpose of these beautiful gatherings is to provide a safe and sacred space for everybody to come along and to discuss any issues that are relevant to them in this day and age, and or to just listen, to be part of a positive community that is so important. It's always important to be part of a positive community, but I think even more so at this point in our history. So tonight we're going to be discussing the power of slowing down, and this topic is resonating very, very deeply for me because I think I've been going a little bit too fast recently, and my body at the beginning of this week basically just said, "Anthea, not fine,
No, fine. No.
not fine. Stop, slow down. Can't keep going that fast. I don't like it." So I've been resting this week and taking some time out, and I thought it was an opportunity to discuss and to explore the theme, the topic of rest and healing and all sorts of different practices that we can use to slow down and to really reset, because often in this day and age we may find that we go really fast, and it feels even sometimes like a competition to go faster and faster and faster and faster. And I don't believe personally, and through my own experience, that that is a wise thing to do. So that is why we're planning to discuss that topic. I'll just explain a little bit more about who I am and the work that I do, and then I'll hand it over to Angie. So, Anthea Alexander, I think I already mentioned my name, but that's my name. And I'm a wellness coach, and I help people to basically manage their weight, improve their energy, and to achieve health goals or health results that they're looking to achieve. Uh, and basically, so if that sounds like something that you are interested in, or you might have a friend or family member that's looking for a bit of support, please reach out to me or to Sanji, because Sanji has recently joined our amazing community and is also working as a wellness coach. So he's able to help people and guide them in the right direction as well. Through this amazing community and this amazing opportunity for health results, there's also an opportunity to strengthen our financial situations. So if you or you might have friends or family who are looking to earn extra income, please also reach out to us. We can arrange to have a chat and talk about where you are and what you're needing. And if we're fit to work together, we can certainly look at the next steps forward. So I will hand it over to Sanji now so he can introduce himself and a bit more about the work that he does.
Thank you so much, Anthea. Anthea, thank you so much for joining today. Anthea was kind of like sick these few days, no, like almost a week, no? And so I thought like let's do it next week. But she was telling like this topic especially resonates with her, and I think with everybody, no? And so it was like great. Like she was like having that mind frame and So, so we thought of having this discussion or podcast today. So I'm Sanjivana. We do from meditation work to mentoring and life coaching, right up to like many charity work. Uh, and like Anthea mentioned, we are like working together. Anthea is my coach here, and on herbal products and good life, like to live very healthy and wholesome life. So I nowadays it's like uh, fascinating. I meet even more and more people like that. Also, like if you are in the same mind frame, I think no. Like so now I meet people who really want to like go more deeper and deeper into these wholesome practices, and they are into like even they have stopped meat, and they do a lot of research on that, and how to say, even dairy products. Not that anybody has to go to extreme, but nowadays it's not what we had before. That's the only problem. It's not so even that I'm not telling any animal should die or anything, but even that it's an industry. So sometimes the same their excreta or something, it comes back on the line to as for them to get as food, or their feed. So they are kept in places and all, and it's not like before. And many like enzymes or like antibiotics, these kind of things. So even young girls and all, they who eat these get like their puberty, right? That it happens fast now, even in here. So when they look back, what happened? Like they consume a lot of, oh, because this is what we have, right? And they think, oh, protein and okay, and the other part is like dairy products. I used to take it, but what to do? No, like and it makes an acidic environment in our body. And the modern days, when they put all these artificial things and artificial vitamins and all these things, that makes things even worse. So the acidic environment is a perfect setting for things like cancers. And when these guys are like taking the cream of that and putting it into like cheese and some other product, and the other thing they mix all this fat like palm oils and these kind of things, and spray dry it with bunch of artificial vitamins and all these things which they include, and they have this big list, right? That is like, and for example, like we are having this conversation. That's why I want to share also, no, because it's like health wise, and so now here also there's a product. I don't want to say the brand name on it. They say it's for osteoporosis, but but here like the milk what they give is the worst kind of thing for like our joints or like bones, because what happens is it starts decaying the bone. And when you drink like for osteoporosis, like those that kind of particular milk, it makes a person more sick. So the things that are supposed to make you better, healthy, all these things, it seems like now it's going in such a bad turn, no, like a bad way. So that's why me and Anthea and many others like this, some people really want to go to like raw foods, but that also has to be like real things like organic or nothing like pesticides or anything. So at some point we'll have to grow our own food. You know, never know, right? Because there are some labels in the foods now. So they say okay, like non-organic, but they don't use that word also now. They have changed that, and there are some labeling like they can do anything at some point. So it can come from organic farm or someplace like that, but later on they can add some preservatives or do something like that in another stage of the process. So we have to look out to all those things, even to just to get the basic of food, right? So this is like a no very normal thing for any being, no? Food. Now we have to like go through and be like a rocket scientist to just to know what to eat. No, like you have to look at the ingredients, how many chemicals are there, no? So I think what they had in the very beginning was the best, uh, and Yeah, so I don't want to go to any extreme or anything like that. And I'm not saying I'm such and such a person. No, 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 not like that. No. But I'll do my best, and uh, but I won't be bragging about it. But if somebody's interested, no, I'll share about it. That's all, no. So I don't say, oh, this is you had to do it. You had to do it. Not like that, no. There was a time back then like that also. That made me also go crazy and them also go crazy. It was something like in the far 2000 beginning, and I'm vegan or like vegetarian. Sorry, not even vegan. You also have to go. You have to do it. No, and now it's not like that. So yeah, that doesn't work like that. No, it's a menace. And if you're trying to like forcefully turn people around, no. So because some people they brag, oh, I'm a vegan, no, and the kind of, that is good, but it's your practice, no, what you do, and but yeah. So that's why we thought of talking about these good things, no, like holistic things, and even healthy, natural, even topics we select. Anthea is the one best with the topics. She selects most of these topics, and she does her research and a lot of things also. So Anthea, thank you so much. And with in a recovering stage, also you joined today, and yeah, it's a wonderful topic, no, of slowing down. I think we can talk a lot about this also. And in this age, like, yeah, we see many things going so fast, like the fast food, everything fast now. But that means like the ending is also fast, right? Uh, so I saw like a small, I'll just hand it over to you. I saw like a small thing, there was like a person jogging, and just like nothing wrong with that. So, and then they were asking like, why are you running so fast? Do you want it to end all very soon? So that was just like the caption of it. Nothing wrong with jogging or like that person or anything. But why do you want to go so fast? No, like so. Let's talk about it, and it's a great topic you selected.
Thank you, Sanji, for introducing yourself and talking to us about the work that you do and also your insights about nutrition and how things are these in this day and age. And I certainly agree with you that the animal in it's an industry now. It's not like having farms in hundreds of years back where we perhaps lived in a village together and we had chickens and we had a cow for milk and we had perhaps oxen for pulling plows and or donkeys or whatever and
Mm-hmm.
horses, and they were part of the family and they were loved and they were treated very, very humanely.
Mm-hmm.
It's all different now, and it's yeah, it's quite alarming. So that's really why Sanji and myself are really being champions, but not in a forceful way. We're doing it, we're leading by example. And as we said, you can come and talk with us if you want, but we're not going to force anything down people's
Sure.
throats because that's not how we work.
Yeah.
We'll just be here. And yeah, if you want to talk to us, feel free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now about our topic of the power of rest. So I was thinking about this topic and I was thinking about the art of slowing down because it also is an art, but I feel for me that it has immense power at the moment. So what I wanted to touch upon a few different topics. So I think that rest, like sleep at night, if people sleep at night, is something that we can discuss, and the benefits of sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
and if we have really good quality sleep, it sets us up really
Mm-hmm.
well for the next day. Some of the other things that I noted down before the session were about balancing our nervous systems, because if we're just going fast, 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 we just activate our nervous systems to into fight and flight, and then we don't have the opportunity to really heal and digest and restore our bodies. So that's another benefit of slowing down. I wrote down some practices. So I wrote down like reflection and journaling as
Mhm,
practices of consciously slowing down, also tuning into our higher self and the divine. And
mhm,
I'll mention meditation as well there because it's a beautiful practice to perhaps not even slow down, but to rebalance our energy. Uh, I also wrote down the concept of like a rest cure. So in natural medicine, they used to talk like probably, I don't know, maybe about 100 years ago, maybe 200 years
mhm.
ago, they used to talk about a rest cure. So if somebody was unwell, you would
Mhm.
rest.
Uh-huh.
And that would be like a doctor would prescribe rest.
Yes.
Go home and rest.
Uh-huh.
Don't keep going to work and don't take antibiotics and don't, take medication. Go home and rest.
Yes.
So, but for a lot of us, and I'm not everybody can afford to rest for whatever reason. They might have responsibilities, they might have children, work responsibilities, family responsibilities. I have been able to rest this week. I feel very fortunate and blessed that I've been able to do that. And I'm just wanting to share with people what I see the wisdom of that is, because
Mhm,
I could have just kept powering through, but I might have got sicker.
mhm,
Or I might have ended up having to take antibiotics because I might have got some other secondary infection that, that my body couldn't fight. So
mhm,
all these things to think about, and as we mentioned, we're not saying that this is the absolute black and white and this is the right way, and if you do anything else it's the wrong way. It's just
mhm.
about thinking of other options
Sure.
in life, because sometimes we just feel the pressure that we have to keep going.
Mhm.
Some other things that I thought about were the tortoise and the hare. So do you
Uh-huh.
know the story of the tortoise
Yeah,
and the
yeah, yeah.
hare?
But please tell if you.
With the tortoise and the hare, it's basically a fable, I
Mhm.
believe. And it's about a race between two animals. And you would think that the hare, because its hair is like a rabbit, they go really,
Very
really
fast.
fast, they would win. But the tortoise goes slow, methodical, step,
Mhm.
step, step, step. And in the end, the tortoise ends up winning.
Mhm.
So that's just something to think of as well. So there's wisdom in that. Other things I thought about were tuning in with Mother Nature in terms of healing and resetting or realigning our energy. Uh, prayer, remembrance of the divine, and also surrender and release. So
Mhm.
this is a little bit different to, well, it is slowing down in a way, but what it is my understanding is it's about basically if we have an issue that it could be an illness or it could be something that's really bothering us, some sort of perhaps decision that we need to make,
Mhm.
and we're not sure which way it's going to go, rather than continuing to just think, I have to make a decision, I have to make a decision, just stepping back, perhaps doing some meditation, walking meditation, journaling, spending time with nature, and somehow it seems to work itself out, and we come up with a solution, and it all works out.
Mhm.
So I was wanting to talk about the power of that as well.
Mhm.
So, what I would really love to hear your thoughts and insights, and perhaps any stories that you have, Sanji, about the power of slowing down.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, yes, we can see like slowing down in life is it's not like you're lazy or like not because you're upset or something like this slowing down can happen for many reasons, right? Like when we age, we slow down. When we are like little children, also we are slow. Because children, you see, like the way they walk, they react, and the little toddler and onwards, no, until some age, and the way they react, no, like oh, like no. Then you compare with the elderly person, it's little bit similarities, right? then they fall asleep while they are eating and all these things you see. So, uh, or when we are sick, we slow down. Sometimes because of frustration or some depression or these kind of things also. But it's like normal. We'll talk about these things. But or some tragedy happens, no, and or physically or mentally thing something happens. Then you, or like you mentioned, Anthea, like when it like a vehicle, no, when it overheats the body or even the mind itself, then it's asking you to slow down, uh, whether you like it or not. No, you can have like a ton of things to do, but still, then say if a doctor says or something like that, or for medical reasons, you have to take a break. And no other things they can give excuses and all, but uh, when something happens to them, like no health wise and all, they cannot resist that. No, so yeah, so it can happen for many reasons like such, but this is a conscious decision. Slowing down is a conscious decision and of a shift like in mindset and lifestyle. It can be the reason of stress and even burnouts, or some people like they slow down just for a deeper meaning or understanding of lives in the life. No, you see like people, some even go very far, no, like, and they live in a maybe meditation center or like in a retreat kind of environment, and they do everything super slow, just to be mindful of it. So the intention is like deliberate living with that, to get like greater awareness, or uh, so yeah, we can see of the benefits. We'll talk about this, Anthea. You please carry on.
But let's let's talk about sleep at night. So I
Mm-hmm.
might go back to the topics that I mentioned, and we can talk about them in
Mm-hmm.
a bit more detail. So sleep, sleep is an opportunity for our 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 brain, our body to rest, to reset, to there's all sorts of physiological things that happen when we're sleeping. But basically it's an essential an essential thing that we need. And ideally, it's great if we can sleep for about 7 hours or 8 hours straight. And for some people, this is not possible because they might have responsibilities of children. So, mothers or fathers that need to get up to young children to feed them, to console them if they're crying. Uh, there almost also may be issues that people face with sleeping. Perhaps they have anxiety or problems that are, that they sort of fall asleep, but then they wake up again and think, oh, I've got to do something about that. So sleep is really, really important. And as wellness coaches, they teach us that sleep is just as important as exercise, and it's up there with the amount, like the nutrition that we have. So when we're looking at the different components that we want to balance out, sleep is right up there.
Mm-hmm.
And there are different practices that we can use to enable us to have, or facilitate a beautiful sleep. We
Mm-hmm.
can start, slowing down. We can perhaps have rituals. We might drink some herbal tea at a particular time at night. We might stop drinking caffeine, so slow down the rate of caffeine if we're sensitive to caffeine, so that we can sleep more
Mm-hmm.
restfully. We might listen to some, like an audiobook or meditation, or do our own meditation before we sleep. There's a range of different things. And also, we can sort of limit or start to decrease the amount of like screen time that we have before we're sleeping. So, might be that we read some pages of a book. Different things work for different people, but and what I practice with a friend of mine is that sometimes I actually read to her, like read from a book,
Mm-hmm.
like an older day version of a child story.
Oh,
So
really?
it's an adult, but by
Mm.
reading to her, she finds it really, really relaxing, and I find it relaxing as well.
Mm.
So it's something that we're a way that we can spend time together that's really just gentle, and it helps us both to sleep well.
Okay.
So there's lots of different practices that we can do to ensure that we have a good night's sleep. And so, what I would love to do now is to hand it over to you and to hear some of your experience and wisdom about sleep and rest. And it doesn't have to be particularly sleep, because I know that you have shared in some of our podcasts that in ancient times people rested and slept differently. So for today, that's what they recommend: 7 to 8 hours of sleep. But in days gone by, our elders traditionally may have rested and slept in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll just give some benefits and then we'll go into that also. So, yeah, there are like cognitive functions like improves memory, boost learning, enhance focus and attention. Mental health wise, we can see like it regulates mood, like lower risks of like depression. Uh, and then these are all topics by themselves, right? And physical health, we can say like supports the immune system, promotes heart health, balance hormones. And when you're talking about repair and growth, we can say like cell repair, growth hormone release. And in weight management, they say like regulates appetite hormones. So uh, there's like how to say, like there's a if you have good sleep, it can like regulate properly and reduce cravings also when you have good. And performance wise and productivity, we can say like improves reaction time, enhance physical performance, increases energy level, these kind of things. So there are like lot of benefits actually. uh so maybe I'm the worst person to ask about sleep. Usually I like have different ways of sleeping, like and then different times, and sometimes I stay like very up till about 4 a.m., sometimes 2 a.m., and but I catch up from the other part of the day, but which is not much. But like and sometimes in the daytime also I fall asleep like half an hour or something, but that like recharges. So yeah, but some very nice sleep like really can help, and you feel very fresh. And within those times also you can get a rest. And those days, like you mentioned, and it says like because this is like a sleep we fall into, and it takes like one third of our day, right? If we have just 24 hours, if you so it's if we are sleeping 8 hours, that's like 16 just for the other side, and then 8 here, right? So it's like one third of the whole day gone, right? And so we sleep when we are as tiny children, and then when adult time also, like my father is like sleeping all the time. He's in his 80s now. So then like we don't have much time also, right? When you would like, no, so so it's like maybe one third of our life we were sleeping, no, if you calculate all of that together. And even sometimes before, as kids, oh, we were lazy also, we slept, no. And when we are sick we have to rest and sleep. So that so there's a lady like I spoke to, and she doesn't take any medication. She just rests. Wonderful, like not even like natural medicine, nothing. She just sleeps, and that rest like makes her well again. That's wonderful, right? So
Yeah.
and those days they say like because we sometimes see nightmares and these kind of things, or something associated with what we are thinking. So, but it's not like real mindfulness. So they talk about enlightened beings and all. They were fully awake, it seems, and then but they rested their body because they didn't have like anger, delusion, these kind of things. They could even rest very comfortably. So there are even ancient stories like people like hermits or like great saints. They would sleep like with a thin piece of cloth under a tree that has even not even leaves in the like the autumn season. And there are like hoof marks of cows and bulls on the floor. It's rugged, no, But then there was the young prince coming and asking like, "Oh sir, did you have a good night rest?" And he said, "Yes, I slept well, very nicely." And then the prince looked around, and like it was not a tree even, no, like the leaves had fallen, and there's like this rugged land because of the house had moved, then it was like with the hoof marks, no, and he just had this thin piece of cloth which he used like a mattress. I said, "How can you even sleep here?" No, he told this person like, "I am a prince, no, and I have all these like velvet cushions and everything, and like upper, what you say, like a layer that's covering the bed. I don't know what the exact name, and then all this velvet clothing and everything, but still I could not sleep yesterday properly." And then the saint has said like, as long as your mind is uh, wet with fear, anger, delusion, even things like greed, uh, you cannot even have proper sleep. So there is a difference like that also. I'm telling about the very high class ones, no, like who are really enlightened and like who don't have cleared their mind, no, in the best form, which is
Yeah.
which is possible. And then yeah, these people sleep. There are many stories like that. Also, even robbers came to see whether these people will sleep, but they had to wait all night and until morning, but no sleep. And I have heard even different stories also, like in some places, and some people went to visit some person like that who was living a simple life. But anytime this person had a lot of problems, it seems, like anxiety issues and all these things, and would suddenly jump up in sleep. I don't know what they did before, but he told me. And he went to this place, and every time suddenly he woke up after nightmare or something like that. When he spoke to that person, he was not like when when person sleeps and awakes, he's like, "Oh, what was that?" No, not like that. It was like he was always awake.
Mm.
So he cannot pretend at some point he should fall asleep, right? But every time he spoke to, but he had special powers. It's like one time he had a big problem and he was coming, but this person had already uh, came into front of that place and come to meet. And soon as he came, like he had said, "Don't worry, you will get a letter from your sister within few days. Don't worry about it." Then he was like, so surprised because his sister had gone to work abroad and she was caught up in some incident in the 80s, and that country had some situation there, and they were very worried because those days not even like mobile devices or anything, no.
Yeah.
And he had put the last letter of his sister's in his pocket, and he had gone to ask like whether he at least this person would know some insight or something. Before even he had told it, that person had told, "Don't worry, no, you'll get." And actually he had got within a couple of days. So there are like very strange things like some people can do, and they say like these people. But yeah, like some proper sleep, because and if you keep on doing like silly things or crazy things, some people just stay overnight for no reason. So unless you are like working hard or something, no. So but some people just stay and then they feel very tired, exhausted. uh, so yeah, and yeah, those are the kind of things.
Thank you for sharing that, Sanji. And I really appreciate the story that you said about the enlightened being
Mm.
or beings, how basically because their minds are at peace, they can rest and they don't
Mhm.
actually need to sleep like we do. They rest,
Mhm.
their body can rest, and their mind, it seems, is always at rest because they've already achieved that
Exactly.
level. Yeah. So, I mean, for us as as um, as human beings, perhaps we can't achieve that level. However, if we can work towards experiencing inner peace and contentment, uh, we can, have the best sleep possible because that way we're content with ourselves, we're content with and accepting self acceptance as well, so that we feel at peace and we're able to sleep a bit more, receive better sleep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next on the list, our favorite topic, meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So the power of slowing down in terms of meditation. So this could be a whole topic as well.
Mm-hmm.
But for the purposes of this evening, I know for myself that meditation, so I host a meditation session on a Monday evening at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time each week, and everybody is welcome. Anybody is welcome to attend. It's a free session, and I know that by hosting that session, it means that I'm committing myself to, in a good way, committing to meditating on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So it means that Monday nights I meditate, some Friday evenings with our sessions, we will include a meditation. And also, I experience a prayer circle with a Muslim sister once a week, and we do meditation as
Mm-hmm.
part of that as well. And then I do other practices. Sometimes I listen to guided meditations, but it means that I'm incorporating meditation into my life on a regular basis. And it seems to work really, really well for me. Everybody has different lives and perhaps different levels of what they can commit to. But for me, that works really well. So, what I would love to hear from you, Sanji, are your thoughts about the power of slowing down in terms of meditation, and perhaps for you as a meditation teacher, and perhaps also for other people that you have taught, or yeah, from your experience. I'd love to
Mm-hmm.
hear your thoughts and
Yeah,
insights.
yeah. So meditation. So naturally, what we do is, and they are like we are caught up in a lot of things, no? That's why we feel tired or stressed. Anybody, no, for that matter, like they feel stress or all these things. And end of the day, or even before that, you can feel very tired, even if it's a child. So what we are doing is actually like we are using some process to make. Actually, will come to that. It's like we are slowing down, but actually what we are doing is we are like focusing on sometimes one object, which is a wholesome object. For example, the breath, uh, which is everybody breathes, right? No, and unless they have some difficulty, so they have this, and then it's a neutral object also. And when you think of the breath, you don't feel angry or anything like that, no? And there's nothing to feel lust about a breath. Maybe when we're having some difficulty, you can feel like to grasp it, no? And oh, I wish I could breathe or something like that. But other times we don't even mind it, we don't even see it, right? So, and it's the same for everybody. So like that, then it becomes like a very wholesome object. Uh, so, and it's very valuable, no? This is like the main reason we are alive. So when you focus on a thing like that, what happens is it's not like we are slowing down, we are just focusing on one object. But what happens is through that process there is like very wholesome things that arise. So we cannot actually, we say like we are slowing down the mind, but it doesn't slow down the mind. We are directing it the same flow. The mind speed is the same. But when we use different things like thousands of things, it divides into those, attention divides into those things. So then we don't see like the consistency and the power of the mind that is focused upon one. Uh, but this has so much power, and when it's covered by the negatives, also it brings down that power. But still, the speed is the same.
Yeah.
So what we do is like we say we are slowing down, but actually not. But it seems like a vehicle is going very super fast. Then you put it to lower gear, and then it slow down. Then it goes to neutral, and at some point it stops. Uh, so likewise, it seems like that. So what we do is like we focus on one object and we divert it towards that, and then from that, physically and mentally, there's a bunch of benefits that arise through that. For example, like the happiness factor, the relaxation factor. And that helps like particles of our body also to change. Like for instance, when we are angry, everything seems like very rough and gross, and we feel uncomfortable, maybe sweaty, the body heats, everything. But that may be just like nobody's in front of us or anything. We can think of some old thing and we feel upset or angry about it. Heartbeat is a more. Likewise, when we're happy also it changes, right? But here it's like it's all the calming factors, the soothing factors, these kind of things. That's why it particularly says like do this kind of practice. Use this thing for something that has been there for like thousands of years maybe. Huh? So then, because they know it had been around for such a long time, so many people have used it and they got the benefit, right? So then what happens is like then that stage you can make it more solid, more like more soothing. So likewise, you can take it up to the level, but there will be a time if it's like enlightenment, yeah, the mind actually stops. The whole process stop. You can stop everything. And they say like the body warmth will be there. The sensors like the brightness of the sensors they don't die off. They will be there. Yeah, and the heat of the body will be there even for 7 days. So all the physical other things like it should be like in preserved, but the mind and everything just stops. Even the breathing stops. Even in the fourth jhanic level, the breathing stops.
Okay.
Yeah, because the mind, the process becomes so subtle.
Okay.
Now we are breathing so much, even in our sleep. It's because like there's so much thought process that's happening. Sometimes we breathe from our mouth also, right? Or snore even, right?
Yeah.
Uh, So that's because we have a lot of intake. And then there's a lot of activity inside when we are sleeping also. But there you feel even when you do breathing meditation, first it's like long breaths and all, then it becomes shorter and then more subtler, subtler, then you don't even feel it, but still you are breathing. But when you go to higher concentration levels, you can actually feel the breath stops. Because mind is at these are possible things and many people do these things.
Yes.
So we just have to build it up, say breath. You just have to build and take it further. And you make it more settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down like that. So we just have to place our mind on the meditation object only actually.
Yes.
It's like an ant climbing on a leaf and slowly drifting into a place. It doesn't have to row or like put up the sails, none of that. But for us, we cannot do that. That's the biggest problem. Our monkey mind and all, like, what about that? What about this? What about this? No, this that. It's like we have the ticket and we are on this plane or a train, uh, and it's leading always to the destination. But we cannot stay like we have to jump out of the window or the next stop we jump up and go into the station or airport and they are wandering around. But again, the next sitting we sit back on the seat of the plane with the ticket in hand, and it always leads to the destination, but we cannot stay. We say we are going to the bathroom or the toilet or someplace and then we run away. Something. So actually we are learning how to place our mind with the object and just wait. It's like placing a glass of water on the table. We sit back, relax, and just observe it. But we are not used to that. So when you say slowing down, this is also great slowing down. But that doesn't make you lazy or lethargic or none of that. Not that you don't like the world or in a negative form or anything. And in the other sense, this boosts the practices or performance. And when your mind is sharp, awake, and all this, even the task you did before, you can do it very quickly without any disturbances. It acts in the opposite. But you don't get caught up in that whirlpool of things or the storm of things. It's very interesting, no?
It is very interesting. So, from what you're saying, I'm getting a different understanding that it's actually not about slowing down so much. It's about focus. It's about shifting our focus.
Mhm.
By shifting our focus, we don't allow for distractions to come in. So if we're deciding, for example, that we're going to meditate and we're going to just focus on our breath, then we're shifting our focus on our breath, and then everything else sort of just naturally goes away. Um, if we're going to decide that we're going to rest and heal, if we're unwell, then we focus on the healing and the resting, and the other distractions just, yeah.
Exactly.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
actually not slowing down at all. It's more about our focus. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. But since we talk about from the external thing, it looks like we are slowing down.
And it feels like it as well.
Yeah, yeah. But there's nothing wrong with it, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong, but it's just, yeah,
But
yeah,
we have no other way of like expressing it, right?
yeah. That's right. That's
Uh,
right. That's how we can use our
Interpret
language
it, right?
to explain it to other people.
Uh,
Yeah, because if I say to someone, "I have a cold," and I'm going to shift my focus so that they'll be like, but if I say I'm go down and rest at home, they'll go, "Oh, okay."
Uh, then the irony of society is like it's like somebody's like taking a whip and like move faster, faster, faster. Even for the children, no, like faster, faster, no. Even the food and everything, people are getting impatient. Even for results, even like young people or with their affairs or well, all these things or relationships, they are faster. That's why they go for crimes or do whatever it's possible to like or not, yeah, possible means like in their standards to go and get to reach some place. So yeah, the society is showing like the opposite, right? Mostly.
Yeah, yeah. People are wanting instantaneous results
Mm,
and prepared to wait for results. And basically, society is telling people you can have what you want and you can have it straight away. And
mhm.
yeah, that's what people feel like they're entitled to. Some people, not everybody, but
Sure.
just feel like they don't, they shouldn't have to really work hard, or they shouldn't have to have responsibilities, that they can just, yeah, get into crime and then get lots of
Mm,
money. Yeah. So, but I sort of go back to the point of that you're making at the beginning of our session, is that what are we speeding towards to? What's the
mhm,
purpose of going so fast?
mhm, mhm,
I think a lot of people don't even question it. They just are so caught up in going fast. But really, it's about, for me, it's about having a good quality of life, beneficial relationships, good health,
mm,
meaningful work, fulfillment, inner peace,
mm,
contentment, all these beautiful things that are so available if we can, yeah, get our focus right. Mm.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we've discussed this beautiful topic for about an hour. Were there
Mhm.
any closing thoughts that you wanted to share before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just a little bit. I'll just go in point form only. Yeah. So
Oh,
when
God.
you're talking about slowing down, there is like mental clarity, emotional health, physical well-being, even better relationships, greater enjoyment. So there can be like signs you might need to slow down. Like if you feel consistently like overwhelmed or anxious, or like you are thinking always about the next thing, no, what to do. Even multitasking extensively and rarely finishing things, or you struggle to remember the last time you truly relaxed, or your relationship, it could be anything, no, from romantic to other, no, all relationships, they feel like strained or neglected because you are like in a rush, no, for everything. So then we can say like we can how to slow down, like simplify your schedule. Yeah, surely we were talking like practice mindfulness and unplug regularly. take breaks from social media screens, schedule the phone for like phones. I think it's becoming a big thing now, and like phone free hours, no, and especially in the mornings and before bed, and you can declutter your environment, embrace like slow activities like gardening, reading, like you said, Anthea. Will you also please add like journaling, even like cooking from scratch, like from the very beginning, and these yeah, nourishing your inner life, and create room for like reflections, walk, commute more mindfully, and then cultivate patience. So yeah, so there are like minimalist mindfulness practices, uh, even in other countries like Sweden, Japanese, and slow movement. So these kind of things I just wanted to add, so it can nourish our program, or like what we are discussing, Anthea. So yeah, those are the things I finally want to add.
I think that's a beautiful point to finish our session this evening. And I'm really glad that we have discussed this topic. And thank you very much for sharing your insights and your stories, which I always find really helpful and enjoyable. And we really hope that this is of benefit to anybody who listens to this podcast, this conversation in the future. That is also an intention of putting out this
Sure.
material to really put out wholesome content into the world in a world where there's a lot of questionable content. So we're wanting to make an effort to, and our intention is to regularly contribute wholesome content into the world. So if you have any questions about this topic, or if you have any suggestions for topics that you would love to see us
Mm.
uh, discuss in the future, please feel free to reach out to myself or Sanji, and we'll be happy to have a chat with you or to take your feedback into consideration. I think that's probably about all from me,
Sure, sure.
and so much for your time, Sanji. Pleasure.
Thank you so much, Anthea, and everybody who will be watching this later on, even. And yeah, everybody, and we are trying to do our very best here, and trying to give something very wholesome to everybody. And thank you so much, with all like, the time you needed to rest. Also, you focused here today, and we are very grateful for that. And for everybody, we wish everybody the very best, and we'll definitely put Anthea's and all our details in the post, as well as in the video, so anybody can contact with us. And okay, and wish you everybody a wonderful day. Or and yeah, you also have a good rest and a good night to you also.